Okay, well this is King and John Streets in Niagara-on-the-Lake. I'm standing here at a corner. Now this may just look like an ordinary telephone pole, but I know years ago there used to be an old transformer box, and so probably about where my finger is used to be an old transformer box. That when I was about 5 years old, I remember walking with my mum late one evening, and of course I went up to it and I whacked my nose right on the box, and so I would have been probably this side of my schnoz, my nose here. So I don't know, hope that came through on the camera okay, but there you have it. Here at Ryan Cottage Streets, place I haven't been down to in years. Used to be at the end of Cottage Street, I think beside where that driveway was, or just before. I think there's an entrance to a park. Used to be an old water pump, and well, I think it was a well pump, I think, of some kind. And then over beside, if you can see that house, sort of in that range, used to be an old jailhouse here. This is the route if you head down Rye Street towards Niagara Street, where you used to get milk from. But we won't go all the way down there, it's too far, so we'll see the newly redeveloped road here. You see, got lines and a yellow line down the center of it. Goodness. I think driving along here, my mum's bike used to be really bumpy, and my mum, remember, I think she broke a bottle of milk a couple of times from riding along here. This Cottage Street, which curves to King Street. I always affectionately refer to this as the S curve, because how you saw Rye Street and how it curves gently around to the right. We're retracing along here, which is nice. Used to be all crappy, and so we're going down King Street. And I think this is the area where someone from my kindergarten class used to live. Steve Pogazelic, I believe. Continuing on down, oh, okay, that's the newer place. I think one of these was the older place, I think. Let's continue on down King Street. Now it's cool again. Where an old family friend used to live years ago, Rita. You can see this whole section of King Street here used to be just empty field. You could see right to Rye Street along where these nice homes are here. Wow. Even a house for sale here. Have a nice price. And along here, someone else that used to be in my kindergarten class. And who's long since moved on to bigger, better things. I believe down under. And I believe her name was, she being Danielle, I believe. More new homes thrown up. What used to be vacant lot. Setting the record straight, this is actually the home, I believe. It's the wrong house, but that used to be a vacant lot. This is definitely new there, which I believe is associated with the Shaw's Lane development. Now we're on Ann Street, by what was once formerly C&C Yachts, now is old and derelict. Just looking back to King Street there. Yep, it used to be all stacked with boats and all that along Ann Street here. Now it's just derelict, and I guess the plan is to redevelop these into low-rise apartments. Yep. Sure, eventually time will come when this area's done up nicely as well. At Anne and Victoria Street, this was formerly Catholic Elementary School, St. Vincent de Paul. But that's not to be. It's all overgrown and supposed to be a low-rise here. Of course, there used to be pear trees here, but I don't think any of you see pear trees. That's because this has been all redeveloped. Started about 18 or 19 years ago. Yep, it's just amazing how 20 years ago this was just open field. I think there were grapes that were growing along here. Now this is a nice sidewalk. Wouldn't even think you're still in Niagara-on-the-Lake here. I think this is like Simcoe Street or what it is, I think. Because this went in off Victoria Street and Simcoe Street, and Simcoe loops around and kind of meets up with Victoria Street. Well, this is Anderson Lane, and I believe this here, without getting the sun in the lens, is the Niagara-on-the-Lake Public Library. It used to be in the old courthouse downtown. First time walking through here myself, and believe that's the fire hall over there. Okay, so this I believe is the Niagara-on-the-Lake Fire Hall here. And then Highway 55. This must be a memorial park of some kind. So I don't know what that is. It's a monument. Again, this was once old farmland here. Okay, so now we're on somewhat, well, sort of familiar territory here. These houses here, well, of course the street is familiar. It's Highway 55 here. I don't know though if this is where it's already Mississauga Street or if it's the interchange is up a little further. It might be, or it could just be right here. I don't know, but I think this is highway. I think this is considered as Mississauga Street. Heading back into the old town. Mary Street and Mississauga Streets in Niagara-on-the-Lake. Used to always be a gas station there. And this is actually Timmy's, believe it or not, right here in Niagara-on-the-Lake. Used to be an old Shell station there.